My role in Start Campus is to make sure we get the best of connectivity to this data center. I'm pretty fond of connecting cables, so if any of you guys have some Ethernet cable around, be careful. I might just plug it into to Sinish. So today I came here to talk about latencies and how Sinish and Portugal and Iberia, for that matter, are a strategic location for developing AI. When we look at latencies from Sinish, and this is all public information that we've been gathering from some publications, we see extremely low latencies from Sinish to most of the cities in Europe. Now, José Luis was talking about the Iberia opportunity, and that Iberia opportunity is so the opportunity is either for Iberia or for the Nordics, given the lack of power in Central Europe. Now, when we compare Sinish to the Nordics, and I've used here the specific case of Stockholm, apart from a few locations where we are almost on par, all the other locations, Sinish has a great advantage in terms of latency. When you look at a physical map, it might not seem so logical. Some of the cities show as being closer to Stockholm than Sinish. But when we look at the actual latency and the cable routes that we have, Sinish is much better positioned. It's not difficult to understand that with regards to South America and the Western Africa, also to North America, it's a similar situation. So Sinish has much lower latency when compared to the Nordics. And this gives us a strategic advantage, both for the AI workloads in terms of training, or to the inference aspect of the AI. Now, taking a step back and understanding how the internet has evolved from time to time, in the beginning we were doing dial-up to servers, to the BBSs. Probably most or some of the people here won't even know what that is, but others will remember the BBSs. And that was representing a north-south flow of the data. So users were connecting to the servers where the actual data lived in. There were no interconnection between different servers. Then you started interconnecting them, and much of that interconnection was done via the internet exchange points. You start to have the internet. We're talking the late 80s and the early 90s. That's when the actual data started to flow between servers, but yet the flows were south to north. It was from servers to users. And then suddenly you have the cloud. The information is everywhere. You start having some east-west flows between different servers, those that are closer to the user accessing the data. And those flows just grew bigger now with AI. It's machine to machine. It's no longer server to user. It's machine to machine to be there to train the models. And where does all of this happen? This happens where power, connectivity, and data converge. And data in the sense of enough space to store it. We're talking large volumes of data. And again, just to highlight, the network flows, the patterns of data, they move from north-south to east-west, from servers to users to machine. Now, let's go back to the Portugal example or Sinish example. Sinish is strategically located to connect Africa, Latin America, North America, and Asia. There's some cables represented in this slide. It's not by accident. Some of you will remember late March or early April 2024, there was a major disruption in the submarine cables off the coast of Congo. That disrupted all communications towards sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa, that also coincided with the cable disruption in the Indian Ocean. So Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa was completely isolated. What at the time saved in terms of connectivity was combining some of these cables to connect from South Africa to Angola, Angola to Brazil, and then Brazil to Sines. That restored the connectivity in Southern Africa. This again shows the pivotal role that Sines can play or is playing in the connectivity world. Today we have the LLink cable landing in Sines. The Nuven cable from Google is landing in Sines. The new Camring connecting to the islands is going to land in Sines. There's other cables being discussed, like the Olisipo to connect to the other CLSs, also in Sines. This makes it a strategic point to connect to the rest of the world. We have very low latencies. Again, I know that I'm stressing on the low latency aspect, but that's an important one. Very low latencies to Africa, to Latin America, and to Northern America. Now, what can Start Campus also help in this aspect? Start Campus is acting as a neutral carrier data center. So this, apart from all the things that some of you may have heard in the news about the AI workloads, we're also carrier neutral, and we want to help Sines become the strategic point of connectivity for Europe, the gateway of Europe towards the rest of the world. There are other players that have been helping achieve this goal. LLink is one of them. They're doing a fantastic work in connecting and promoting Sines. DKIX, that you all know, they already have presence in Sines. Gigapix, as we speak, is being brought into service today in Sines, fostering the ecosystem. And there's also the hyperscale tenants in the data centers that will help with the attraction of traffic towards Sines. So the connectivity is needed not only for users to get there, to get to the data, to do the inference or the training, but it's also required to transport data between data centers, different data centers, to foster that very same training. So this is where the east-west traffic I was talking about will come into play as well. And in this, like in every other aspect of our lives, the multiplier is the collaboration. So one partner alone won't do much, but combined, we are in a situation where 1 + 1 = 3. This is opportunity for all the players in the industry, for CSPs, hyperscalers, even research networks. We've been doing some work there with RIPE, the agency that policies the internet in Europe. There are also some scientific networks present in Sines, and all this will foster this ecosystem for Sines, for Portugal, for Iberia. So, what's the goal? The goal is to assist Europe in having their sovereign data center. That's something that Europe has been working on in multiple aspects, and Sines is playing a pivotal role for that. There's data sovereignty. We know where that data is. It's in EU, it's in Portugal, it's in Sines. And something that José Luis also mentioned, it's the renewable piece. We've been running on 100% renewable power with zero water waste. This makes Sines a reference as a green blueprint for the new generation of data centers. And that's it. I hope that you've enjoyed the presentation, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me.